who've been in the rocketry business for decades who say about you that you don't know what you don't know. You know, there are American heroes who don't like this idea. Neil Armstrong, Gene Cernan have both testified against commercial spaceflight in the way that you're developing it.
Now is the time to overrule this administration's pledge to mediocrity.
You know, those guys are heroes of mine, so it's really tough. You know, I wish they would come and visit and see the hardware that we're doing here.
They inspired you to do this, didn't they?
Yes.
And to see them casting stones in your direction.
It's difficult.
I would say because they are fearful of how disruptive plug-in cars will be and how unattractive their old product line will appear.
There's just very little time left in the year to resolve these things. I mean, there were like 2 or 3 business days left in the year. I never thought it was possible for me to have a nervous breakdown, but if it was possible for me to have a nervous breakdown, that was about as close as I was going to come.
Electric vehicles are really not possible in ways that would be effective for most consumers still. This is just the religion of electric vehicles. And like Jonestown, that religion will come to an end.
Tesla stock voted by Wall Street as the least likely to succeed.
You don't want to own this stock. You don't want to lease it. Heck, you shouldn't even rent the darn thing.
You put $90 billion, like 50 years worth of brakes into solar and wind, to Solyndra and Fisker and Tesla and Enter1. I mean, I had a friend who said you don't just pick the winners and losers, you pick the losers.
It really feels good to have repaid the U.S. taxpayer. That's really what's important here, and we didn't just repay the principal. We actually repaid it with interest and a bonus payment. So ultimately, the U.S. taxpayer actually made a profit of over $20 million on this loan.
They're going to send their own planes up.
It's rockets, yeah. I'm skeptical.
An incredibly inspiring thing for a private corporation to be able to do what SpaceX has done. But Neil deGrasse Tyson does not think that when it comes to the major goals of our space program, things like being able to get humans to Mars, SpaceX simply will not be able to accomplish them.
And a few years ago, people were laughing at you. Now, not so much. I mean...
Okay. Some people think I'm an alien.
It's like Elon Musk has been beamed down from another planet to show us mortals how to run a company.
Not true.
When are you going to make a new Roadster? We are making it now. The new Tesla Roadster will be the fastest production car ever made, period. 620-mile range. That's a 1,000-kilometer range. This will be the first time an electric vehicle breaks 1,000 kilometers. A production electric vehicle will travel more than 1,000 kilometers in a single charge at highway speed. The point of doing this is to just give the hardcore smackdown to gasoline cars.
And if you consider two futures, one where we are forever confined to Earth until eventually something terrible happens, or another future where we are out there on many planets, maybe even going beyond the solar system, I think that second version is incredibly exciting and inspiring, and there need to be reasons to get up in the morning. You know, life can't just be about solving problems. Otherwise, what's the point? There's got to be things that people find inspiring and make life worth living.
Now beginning serious development of BFR. BFR, you can get a sense of scale by looking at the tiny person there. In 2024, we want to try to fly 4 ships. Then build up the base, starting mostly with one ship, then multiple ships, then start building out the city, then making the city bigger.
Private enterprise will not ever lead a space frontier. My read of history tells me they can't. It's not possible.
It's about believing in the future and thinking that the future will be better than the past. And I can't think of anything more exciting than going out there and being among the stars. We now have 16 successful landings in a row.
This is to give you a sense of size.
This will enable the creation of a lunar base. It's 2017. I mean, we should have a lunar base by now. What the hell's going on?
They think that technology just automatically improves. It only improves if a lot of people work very hard to make it better. You see where things are going with virtual reality? If you extrapolate that out into the future, then eventually those games will be indistinguishable from reality. They'll be so realistic, you will not be able to tell the difference between that game and the reality as we know it. How do we know that that didn't happen in the past and that we're not in one of those games ourselves? In probably 10 years, it will be very unusual for cars to be built that are not fully autonomous. Getting in a car will be like getting in an elevator. Where are the aliens? Maybe they're among us. I don't know. Some people think I'm an alien. Not true. I mean, if there are super intelligent aliens out there, they're probably already observing us. To be clear, I don't want to die on Mars. If you're going to pick some place to die, then why not Mars? And if I do die on Mars, I just don't want it to be on impact. Something that happens over 30 or 40 years, the transition to electric vehicles. Ultimately, we will have to have some kind of universal basic income. There will be fewer and fewer jobs that a robot cannot do better. So with automation, almost everything will get very cheap. Take that approach of you're always to some degree wrong, and your goal is to be less wrong. Not as much fun being me as you'd think. I don't know.
You don't think so?
No. There's definitely, it could be worse for sure, but it's, I'm not sure I want to be me.
I'm going to tell you about everything that this truck can do. It blows my mind. I think it'll blow yours. What it's like to be in a Tesla truck. This is real time.
Okay. And I hope you agree that's the future we want. Thank you. probably 27,000 kilometers an hour, or roughly 18,000 miles an hour. This is where the propulsive landing becomes very important to get it right. So most of what people consider to be long-distance trips would be completed in less than half an hour.